Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jose Levy, and I am a Regional Director within EPM Live. Welcome to today's webinar. Today we're going to be going further into work management and the value that we provide SharePoint and the SharePoint platform. So we're going to be going deeper into how we actually make that happen through EPM Live. So EPM Live as an application within SharePoint. We talked about this before, but we're going to take a slightly different tack on the subject. So just some general topics, give you a perspective of what we're going to cover. How are we defining value from SharePoint, and our experts in the field looking at how you derive value from SharePoint. Our perspective on using work management really as a foundation for creating that value, using EPM Live and SharePoint, and also developing the capabilities within SharePoint leveraging EPM Live. We'll go through some usage scenarios with different roles as a team member, updating work, project manager, resource manager, looking at the status of that work, and then executives in terms of the reporting that's available. We'll close with some benefit summary on what our platform provides. So the SharePoint is a very powerful set of capabilities that Microsoft launched, and what we have observed, and this has actually been noted by industry experts, is organizations get in fairly easily and quickly, and you're in a position to focus on document management and collaboration, which are the out-of-the-box capabilities which you can leverage by just installing the application. Really, to get the greatest value, you have to use the platform to develop applications and then go further and integrate that with your enterprise resource management system processes and line of business data. And that's really where the key decision is for the organization, because you get into a position where you have to decide whether you're going to build that and develop it yourself or acquire it from a best practice vendor in order to accelerate to that value. So there's a lot of discussion right now in the market into kind of the trade-offs of going to the upper level of the value graph that you see here. And with EPM Live, what you're going to find out, what we're proving with our customers is it's becoming one of the quickest ways to achieve value creation with your SharePoint platform. So what we provide you is, and you'll see through the demonstration, is a set of capabilities that you install on your SharePoint farm that allows you to manage all work within the application and then go further and integrate with your ERP or line of business system. So what we're trying to do is get you on the top left-hand quadrant where you have lower cost and the greatest amount of value. So for an incremental increase in value, you can acquire the capabilities and achieve what you could be obtaining from using all of the SharePoint platform. So what is this concept of work management? So you've seen this chart before, and what it really means is that you have work that's being created throughout the organization. It may follow a life cycle, it may not, but teams are really faced with, and the team members and resources of the organization are faced with all of this different types of work that are being generated really unstructured from all different types of sources. And what we're trying to establish here is that by providing some structure around the way that work comes into the organization, you can achieve a lot more from your resource utilization and from achieving the capability and performance improvements that you want within the organization. So you can go from something that is fairly unstructured to something that's structured. And what we're trying to establish is that work management is really the platform for getting to organizational performance, number one, So it's really the atomic unit of achieving performance. So we have to focus on defining, planning, prioritizing, and tracking that work. And then from there, moving up to managing resources better, managing projects, whatever that may mean in your organization, managing the portfolio of sets of work items, and then finally getting to what we're trying to accomplish with improved performance. And with all of this, we're establishing that SharePoint is really the work management system because it's the enterprise collaboration management platform, and it's where everybody is working in. That's where all the artifacts are. That's where all the collaboration is occurring. So as a result, if we get better at managing work within SharePoint, we can achieve greater things. So to that end, EPM Live then becomes your work management platform. And here what we're trying to provide is that structure within SharePoint to provide that greater value add. Really the focus of work management is really in the execution and the delivery of work items by team members. And then the resource manager is actually determining the priorities and determining whether there's capacity for additional work. But it actually has to begin, first of all, with the intent of deriving business value. And then secondly, by providing the capability within the platform to bring in different types of work. So it could be project work, it could be incidents, changes, change requests. There's demand from everywhere. You need to have the capability to select the work and then place it within its right container, and that's what a platform provides, really, the structure to manage a service portfolio, an application portfolio, project portfolio, and even within those, the specific work items that you're going to be seeing, whether they're incidents, changes, problems, and so on for every one of the sets of work. All of that needs to be obviously delivered, so work needs to get done, and what we're providing is the mechanism and the ways of being able to define, plan, and track, status by team members when all those different types of work items are delivered, and then be able to do some decision support with our reporting database. And the end result is really to deliver that capability, that improved performance. So we propose here that you focus on structuring your work better with these with our tool set within SharePoint, with EPM Live within SharePoint. It's likely that you're going to lead to improved capability and performance. So for just getting deeper into how we actually accomplish this, for those folks that haven't actually seen our application, I want to present it as a platform that has several products within it, several applications that you can leverage in order to structure that work. As I said at the beginning, we live within SharePoint, and we provide the greater value to the organization by structuring all work within the SharePoint platform. So you see here that we have really work features that are being installed within the SharePoint farm. Those come with pre-built applications that are defined for specific processes and are addressing enterprise capabilities. I think one of the greater values of what we provide is also the ability to integrate with other systems, line of business systems and applications. So, in almost every case, we enter scenarios where we're having to bring in data from other systems and make it available. So that's kind of the highest level that I painted in the beginning, where you're actually integrating data from other systems and integrating with your enterprise resource planning processes. I don't want to undermine the full feature set that our platform provides, but I do want to state that task and work management can be the cornerstone for building up your foundation and then going from there to managing projects, managing portfolios, and having the capability, the full capabilities of the tool. So what I'm going to be showing in the demonstration will focus on task and work management, but again, there's a lot more that our platform provides. So, there's additional deep dives that you need on any of the other capabilities that I'm not going to be showing you. Feel free to give us a ring and we'll walk you through them. So the first is, let's talk about service requests. So this is something that is very common. We have a place within the application to manage service requests either as a list or as a site. And you can expose this to your user base in different forms, whether it's through a portal or through just simply having access to a list. This is a place where they're going to be able to submit service requests. The service request will be routed through a workflow to an owner that's driven by the department structure that you can have within the list. That department owner will then, or functional owner will then be assigning it to a team member, as you see here, in all the other attributes that go with the service request, urgency, severity, any of the attributes that you manage. The assignee will then obtain that task and will be able to work on it as part of their overall work reporting capability, work statusing capability that they're going to have. So it's a very easy way of generating service requests and managing them throughout the organization, together with all the other work that I'm going to be showing in the following slides. So the other type of work would be an Agile work item from our Agile planner or Agile sites that can be created. And here you see a screenshot of the planner where we actually show how we can find iterations and bring backlog items into those iterations and releases. There's a lot of flexibility for managing different attributes in those columns that you see there. It follows a Scrum methodology, and will also generate work for team members to be integrated. If you're interested in having it integrated with Team Foundation Server, that's also a feature that we have. And again, it's optional, but it depends what SDLC tool you're actually using. So the most common most common work item that you'll see is a project schedule task that is assigned to a resource, and we actually have the ability to create a project schedule online through a project planner, or you could be using Microsoft Project, in the traditional way of creating task assignments and then having the ability to publish those task assignments to a location where the assignment is going to be made, a workspace. And you can leverage Microsoft Project for that, like I said, an online planner. The integration is bidirectional, so any changes that are made on the web by team members when they report work, because that's really what we're trying to do here. We're talking about reporting, in this case, project tasks, will then go back to the project manager for acceptance or rejection in case they don't agree with the time that's been reported. So in the end, what we want is a summary view for the team member to see all the different types of work that has been generated. And again, it could be from different sources. It could be from different areas of the organization, different types of work. And what you're trying to do is have that full view perspective of the work that you have to accomplish in order to get to the areas above in terms of having projects, portfolios, and organizational goals. There's features within the MyWork and also timesheet capability for setting up alerts, creating new items. So it's flexible in terms of giving the user the capability to see what they need to in order to report time. So the end goal after having work status is really also for the resource manager see exactly where the over-allocations are. So in order to get to resource management, I'm proposing that we need to actually define our work, have resources report time in order to see exactly how we're doing against all of the schedule commitments that have occurred. So assuming that we're going to take on work management, have all of our work reported within one single list by our team members, resource managers can then have the perspective to view all of the work that's been assigned and completed. At the highest level, once one single resource manager has seen, we can then move to the next level of maturity and readiness, which is in capacity planning. This is much more involved, and would require you to have taken some of the higher end capabilities of our tool, of our platform. But it's available there and can be evoluted. So you can start with just basic work management, go to resource management, and then end up at the highest level when you're ready with resource capacity planning. Even with just your basic work management, you will be able to achieve some of the benefits from portfolio management. In this case, having work status either for any of the different types of portfolio items that you create. You can have KPIs be delivered in the different views that we have within the system, and that way have a perspective of how you're doing in the different portfolio items that you have. And like I said earlier, we have more advanced capabilities depending on your level of readiness. You can take portfolio management at its most basic project inventory and dashboarding level, and then move to the higher level where you can do prioritization, strategic alignment, and what-if modeling scenarios. Okay, so what I'd like to do is turn to our demonstration and go through some usage scenarios of just very basic steps in creating work and statusing work items by a team member, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, leveraging SharePoint just by using our work management capabilities. What I'd like to do is just show you real quick how to define work. So I'm going to do a quick application support plan, go into a project plan, go into a service request. I'll then go as the same user and then look at my work by priority, by due date. I will then follow by reviewing resource work assignments at one level, and then at the highest level look at the organizational capacity for work within our tool set. And let me just switch real quick. All right, so I'm right now in our project center, and I'm showing you a view that's called Projects That I Own. This specific user, Steve Masters, is one of the super users for our demonstrations, and there's a lot of different views that Steve can see. But I'm going to start first by just showing how easily we can just create items within the application. So I'm going to go ahead and click Create New Item, and I'm going to call this just Application Support. You can see here that I have a number of different fields. I'm going to make this a support plan. Just for argument's sake, I'm going to make this. I'm going to make myself the owner and project manager. You can have different roles. There's also a planner role here. I'm not going to fill out. If there were other attributes that you wanted to track, you would include them within this list form. And you can see here that you can decide whether you want manual indicators or calculated indicators. Really, you have a choice when you set up our system. So I'm going to go ahead and create the item by application support. Just real quick, I'm going to go into our planner. And I'm just going to quickly go into just create two simple items, incidents and requests. This is our online planner. As you can see, it's a lightweight scheduling capability. I'm just going to go through here, actually without putting the date, and just put till the end of the year. And I'm going to go ahead and put myself on the task. You can see that you can put one or multiple team members on it, but for purposes of the demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and put myself on the task. And I'm just going to do a quick estimate of 72 hours based on the work that I can perform. If you wanted to add additional columns, you see here that you can manage different custom fields if you want to actually make it part of your timesheet. If I wanted to actually plan a project that had dependencies, I can do that here. Also, you can see that I can establish better sets of relationships just to make sure that I have all my data. You see here I have incidents and requests. I have Steve Masters and myself, some time. I've actually made it part of my timesheet if I want to report on the timesheet. And I'm going to go ahead and save and publish. So it's going through the process. I'm getting messages in terms of where I am with my processing. And I've completed. So that's really all it took to create an item, in this case an application support plan. So team members have been assigned, and I'm ready to go and complete work. Here we see that in Project Set Item that I have my application support plan, and indicators showing that everything is going good so far. I'm going to go now and create a review of service requests that I created today for purposes of the demo here. You see that in my aging, it actually hasn't, this was created today, so it's showing a 0. It is a service request, and I'm going to go ahead and open it so you see how we manage that. A different type of work, different location where it's created. A department was defined, so a department manager can come in and assign it. Status, it hasn't actually started. It's got a high priority. The request type is service request. So all these attributes can drive the workflow within the list. The impact that affects departments. I went ahead, I'm the manager that it was assigned to, and I went ahead and assigned it to myself. I put a start date and a due date. I actually defined some effort that I wanted to track. And I also decided to put it on the timesheet in case I want to use our timesheet capability. In terms of managing additional custom fields here, it's really open to how you manage your service request. I'm going to go ahead and save that. By the way, I don't know if you note that I have a notification here. So any work item, in fact, these are some of the work items that I have been pointing where you see request has been assigned to me, incident has been assigned to me. As I created that new application support plan. So what I want to do now is go see exactly how that's rendering in terms of my work. So I'm just going to go and refresh my view. So in terms of my work. So our solution has a couple of options, actually even a third option that I'll show in a second. But you have a My Work list, and where all the work items that have been assigned to you are going to show. You also have the capability to view items in a timesheet, and I'll show them in a second also, in the event that you want to status work through a managed time period concept. So I'm looking right now at My Work, and this is a very easy interface. It's probably the first step for an organization to actually do work management. In this case, I'm looking at a view by due date. So if I start opening this up, here we see the wireless router replace that I filled in. And you note that I have a priority field here. I mean, real interesting to the use of this as you're establishing, priorities for different items and resource management. Within this interface, there's different ways that I can actually status a task. I could just come to a specific item and just mark it complete. And it's as simple as that. Within the actual item itself, in this case, I'm going to go into the service request because I want you to see exactly what renders when we open it up. So as a team member that's been assigned, here you see that I have the ability to enter hours against it within my work. I'm going to go ahead and update it completely. And I'm going to go ahead and, in this case, it's independent. I'm going to go ahead and mark it complete, and that will save the item as completed. And again, just another way of doing the same action of statusing the task. Yet another way would be, if I wanted to, I could come in and open the item on the list itself if I wanted to enter data, and then go ahead and mark that at 100% because this is a project task that has been assigned, and I can go ahead and save. So again, we've created different types of work. We have gone through and received those work items, and then gone through in this interface and provided status. So, two crucial elements of work management: being able to define different types of work within the application, and then going through and providing status by a team member to a task owner. If you wanted to use a timesheet, I'm just showing here, a timesheet period, and I'm going to go ahead and you see here that it is a managed time phase approach to statusing, and it requires a little bit more process in terms of the rules being established, time periods being established in the organization. So a little bit of thinking here in terms of whether you want to roll this out as part of your work management improvement plan. And one thing that I'm going to go ahead and is go into and add an item so that I want to see that application support plan is showing the one that I created. So you see here, and I'm going to go ahead and add it to my timesheet periods just so you see that new work that's been created that hasn't been populated from the original timesheet created is actually showing now, and then I have now a placeholder for putting any time that I want on that application support plan I created. So, in this case, I could just go and there were some incidents I took care of, and together with other work that I could be completing, and I could then save it. There's rules for both the project manager and timesheet manager to receive notifications in case we're talking about project task items. So, both can actually see the time. The timesheet approver is the one that actually approves the timesheet. So, but in this case, just wanted to show what a team member would see when they added a new support plan that came in. And by the way, more notifications. Actually, since I am the project manager, you see that I have pending approvals that since I went through and updated that. Okay, so the third item of work that I have not shown that I'd like to show before we finish is the actual project task from a project plan. So 1 second here while I change my interface. Pardon the delay there. So now we're on a different environment, and what I'd like to do is, so what you're seeing is a Microsoft project plan. This Microsoft project plan belong to a specific project, and it was actually published or created and then loaded into an individual workspace. So again, in case you're interested in managing larger efforts that require a full workspace attached to that project, we have the capability to do that. We have actually a number of templates that are available for you to leverage in order to use that capability. So in this case, again, for work management, I have a team member that will be reporting time on specific tasks. The idea is to then be able to update progress through the Microsoft Desktop, project desktop capability, and then accept that time as a project manager in order to complete the task status cycle. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see if we have any pending tasks. So there are no tasks to process, so let's just quickly, here's some training tasks. I'm just going to go ahead and, rather than use the, I'm going to go ahead and update them directly through here so you can see how that occurs. I could go directly to task, and here I'm just assuming I'm just going to be a, for purposes of the demonstration, I'm going to go through and update just a couple of tasks. So you see, this would normally occur through the My Work capability, but for time's sake, I'm just going to go through and do it directly in the schedule. So what I should be able to see now is when I update my project plan, so I went through the full cycle, and how I did that, for those that missed it, I went through and did update progress. So those two tasks that I actually, my training tasks that I actually went through and updated on the web are actually coming through now. And as a project manager, I can decide whether to accept or reject them. If I want to actually see the audit trail on the values and how they came into the schedule, I can do that. I'm just going to go ahead and accept them for argument's sake. Yes, I'm going to save my project. And I'm going to go ahead and publish. So it's taking the accepted tasks that were updated through the web and then putting them back into the project workspace as accepted time on the schedule. And there's notifications that can be issued if you want to send notifications to the team that the plan has been updated. I'm just going to go through and complete that. So different type of work, different interface, same concept in terms of providing capability for the project manager, in this case, to receive task updates from a team member and then go through the full cycle of updating the schedule. So where does this leave us? The next level, once you've completed this, is for a resource manager then to see exactly where they are with resource assignment. So this is our resource center within our WorkEngine application, and I've selected my two favorite resources, Adam Bar and Speedmasters, and I'm going to be showing exactly all of the work assignments that have been issued to them. So all work will be rolling up in this capability. So your next step after defining different types of work, defining where those locations are going to be within your ECM Live solution, is then as a resource manager to be able to see all of the work that a specific team member has. So, in this case, we do have the ability to do different views. In this case, I'm just using the summary resource work view. On the left, I see all of the items that have been assigned, in this case, to Steve Masters and the work type column, which actually shows everything that's been defined to Steve in this case. So it's tasks, service requests, risk, issues, change requests. So again, anything that's defined as work to a resource will show here. You note at the bottom that I have a 40-hour work week chart that shows where I'm over allocated. So the concept is that you put in a planning mode, move tasks around to see if we can get to a situation where we resolve the over allocation. So you see as I'm moving tasks around, my chart is changing now. Here, note that I also have atom bar. So if I take atom bar, now I'm doing good. So you do have to note the resources and whether you're looking at one or multiple. This is actually going to give you the ability to save the scenario. So the concept is you can work within the Gantt, the movable Gantt, in order to then determine where you're going to lay out the task for a resource and then save the plan. For someone within the organization to come and look at that plan. So that is the next level up after you've completed your basic work management definition. The final, I guess, and highest level, and really there's a lot more to what you're seeing here that I'm not going to be able to show, is really resource capacity planning. And at this level, we've gone beyond just the basic work definition. We're actually defining resource plans at a project level and role level. And I just want to show you this quick screenshot or quick view of the our capacity demand center, where you can actually have different views that are going to show, in this case, demand by resource, capacity demand by resource. I have the project office and service that's showing, and let me go ahead and go back again. And the concept is that since I have those resource plans and I have the capacity assigned for a resource, I can actually see exactly where the issues are for a specific resource. So in this case, I want to focus on Joe Brown. So Joe Brown is showing 168 hours of capacity and 203 hours of resource plan. So if I go to Joe Brown, we can see here that her work for the specific month is showing, so 203 hours. And what does that really comprise of? That's comprised of several projects where she was, in this case, over allocated. She was put into many projects. So the concept here is that you would be able to, again, using a top-down planning concept with resource plans on a portfolio item, you can see and then make a decision as a resource manager where you want to allocate her to. So in this case, it could be that I say, well, this Xbox DVD upgrade or this merger rollout that you see here, I actually have to change her. Without going too much into the detail, what would happen is you would actually go into the resource plan item and actually then make a change on her in order to overcome the overallocation that you're seeing. 1 second here while the screen refreshes. So here's Joe Brown again, and if I went to the specific resource plan, I would be able then, and again, there's a lot more through this process that I'm leading to in this description. But what I could do is actually find a matching resource that can actually overcome the over-allocation that we're seeing on her. And that way try to figure out, someone else who has remaining availability, in this case Eli Brown, actually come through and then make the change. Our tool has a resource negotiation component, which requires a lot more time to fully describe, but this is the highest level of resource management capability that you can obtain by using EPM Live and SharePoint. And this is within our portfolio engine solution. So just wanted to give you a glimpse of what that is all about. Okay, 1 second while we change screens and move to our last capability. So just one final note, all of this is within a reporting database. So we have gone through and defined work, we have gone updated work, shown how that leads to resource management, and then at the highest level resource capacity planning. So all of the data is within a reporting database, and in this case, since we're talking about work management, I want to show that we do have a nice inventory of reports. So in this case, work items by due date by project. Again, there's different ways of rendering this information, but just wanted to, since we're on the work management domain, I'm going to show some work management reports, in this case by due date. So right here, I can go into every one of the projects and by date go and show what is still pending. And this is on our reporting, within our reporting library. So, there's different ways of rendering these reports. Here you could, by the way, go directly, if you have the permissions and the views and set up this way, you could go directly to the item in order to edit it. So again, work by due date. Any other most common one, then all of that work is then going to be available for reporting at the project level. So you can see here that, let's go and show the project work dashboard. So work management statusing will then allow you to create summary reports like these that combine our charting web part that you're pointing to a list and configuring together with, in this case, a project work summary for a portfolio. And you see here that we have them by state, proposed, the active projects, and closed. We'll focus on the proposed. And you see that we've included a indicator for all the work within the project, the actual summary work item, actuals, remaining work. This is a project that's just started, so we're still doing good. Note, by the way, that on any of our items, you can actually make them live and do different actions from them. So even from here, I could be triggering workflow or even editing the project schedule itself, whether I create it as online or in my cloud project. And then finally, we also leverage reporting services and Excel services. In this case, I just want to show the project status summary. Again, how the work status information will actually be within the reporting database, and you can leverage it for doing your custom reports. I'll get to the delay here while we get our report running. And in this case, I'm running a project status summary report, but if I was actually running other reports on burned down backlog, service request specific reports that we had, you would actually be able to do that in the same fashion. So, we do have different types of reports for statusing the different types of work that are within the system. Here I have my metadata from my Xbox TV site, my project attributes, the KPIs that are driving it, schedule status information, in this case from the actual project plan, cost status, attributes that I'm managing, and in this particular report, upcoming milestones and completed milestones. And on the second page, my activation list. If you wanted to make changes to these, we provide you the RDL files if you happen to have SQL reporting service capabilities within your organization. So, and you can generate your own if you want to. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is just close with summary of what we talked about and the benefits. So again, having been delivering this platform now, our EPM Lite platform for 5 years, we have become the most complete SharePoint application for work management, and that is a foundational element for media source project and portfolio management, as I've shown. The solution is very configurable. Our intent is to make it very easy for a group to take on the solution, and by just controlling web partnering in pages and views within our templates that come out of the box, allow you to be up and running in a matter of weeks. In this particular webinar, we talked about all different types of work and how we manage them within one system. So we addressed defining, planning, prioritizing, and tracking different types of work, having the ability to have multiple status and time management capabilities depending on what the preference is for the organization. I showed you some of our reporting capabilities and our ability to do analysis for taking on all of that work. And then finally, the resource management capabilities on the different levels. One that's very basic resource management roll-up for you to see all the work assignments that have been defined for your teams. And then finally, a resource capacity planning capability that is much more advanced in the event you're going in that direction. We do have a lot of information within our website, and once you go there at epmlive.com, you can actually find out more about the different capabilities that our three solutions bring to the table. And also, if you're interested, you can sign up for a trial. And we can also address any specific questions that you may have that were not covered in the webinar. So with that, I'd like to thank you and provide you with my contact information in case you have any remaining questions that were not addressed with the presentation and demo. Thanks, everybody, for participating.